Hi guys, Joachim Torres, Meraki Media Experience, Empirical Enterprises. Good afternoon. It's been a while since I put long form content. It's not that long. It's only going to be about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Longer than a 60-second marketing short, though. All of this is about, remember, education, entertainment, information, knowledge sharing. I'm from the culture of if you have information that could benefit those around you and you keep it to yourself, that's ignorant. It's kind of weird. I'm going through all this stuff in my life right now, and it's like congruently right alongside of all this deeply rooted deceit that's being things that are coming to light with our government, and everything. And it's all about citizenship and, just if you're sovereign or a citizen, and ultimately at the end of the day, the government, there's all kinds of things that could benefit us as living men and women on this earth with our feet on the soil and our head in the wind, and with good intentions, and exercising our rights. If we don't exercise them, they're gonna go away. It's weird. It's you never do anything until you have a need to, like you never make that health change until you have a health issue. And it's like, oh, I guess I should start doing this now. And, you never bought a circular saw until you needed one to build something, And it's just wild. But I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you to anybody and everybody who might ever come to my channel to look at anything for any hot second and to read something, whatever. It's humbling to think that people might come there, and I try to just put value. I try to put stuff that I like, stuff that I think is funny, comedy, movies, mostly music. Meraki, to do something with soul, love, and passion, and to put a bit of oneself into your work. That's the theme. And we're going to talk about everything. I'm going to do the podcast. I'm going to write the book. How everything's going to come about, check some of my videos from 2 years ago. I don't know how they're going to come about, The 70% rule. You just get started and you go. And you almost, when it's time to make a choice, it's going to nip you, it's going to jump up and bite you. And, you will always make the absolute best, most logical decision in that moment, at that time, you would think, right? So that's kind of a fail-safe. But thank you to anybody who ever comes to my channel to look at anything. I had a conversation yesterday in which I was reminded, like, hey, people wonder about you. They wonder if you're okay. They wonder if, you're just off the reservation. If you're a Section 8, Leonard can't hack it anymore. Leonard's a Section 8. That's Full Metal Jacket. That bathroom scene in Basic Training. Crazy. Anyway, thank you, guys. It's very humbling. Like I said, I've never heard of any of this stuff. 6 months ago, gang stalking, never heard of it. I feel like everybody in Ogden has heard of it. They've known of it for a long time. They've experienced it. It's just wild that I didn't ask to be in this position. I'm not keen of having myself in between a bullet and a target. My family. I was supposed to be in my cousin's wedding in Puerto Rico in April. I've never been in a wedding party, actually part of the wedding party before. In Puerto Rico, haven't been there since I was a baby. Obviously, I don't remember it. But I feel a connection to it. I feel like one time there's a Puerto Rican Air National Guard unit that flies C-130s, and they had an aircraft out here at Salt Lake on our ramp, and for like a week or two, doing missions out here locally, everyone on that crew, like when I passed them on the ramp and looked at them, I felt like I was looking at my family. You know, like I'm like, oh, brother. You know, that's wild. Anyway, we know I could jibber jab a little, so let's get right to it here. I'm gonna give some shout outs. First, I want to show you guys this stuff. A buddy of mine showed it to me years ago, coworker, colleague from Iraq. I was able to connect with him back here in the States, Kent Yeager, big shout. This stuff right here, apparently these doctors did a study. 20 doctors or so did a study for about 20 years. And they were studying cadavers and people who have died of cancer and health issues and terminal illnesses and whatnot. And they did this study and they're like, what is the common theme here? What was everybody lacking? What were they all missing in their diet? You know, and they came up with this formula here. And, I mean, look at these values. Anyway, 1 scoop of this a day into 1 16.9 ounce water. Actually, it recommends 2, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. However, I just do one a day. I think it recommends 2 scoops in 1 water, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. I do 1 scoop in 1 water once a day. You know, because this bin right here, this little bin, if you use it as suggested, it lasts about a month. So it lasts me a little more than a month. But this little bin, you know, we're talking $65-$70 here. You know, and they'll do deals, you know, if you get 2 or 3 in a bundle, that, you know, you'll get like a $10 break or something. But you can't buy this anywhere. You can't get this at GNC or anywhere, you know. So I get this off Amazon, but Longevity is the company, you know. But check this out. So provides energy boosting nutrients, supports a healthy immune system, promotes cardiovascular health, supports healthy blood sugar levels, includes probiotics and prebiotics for digestive support, purogenic full spectrum antioxidant power, gluten-free and shellfish allergen-free, fat and cholesterol-free, low glycemic index, great tropical tangerine taste. And I watched a video a couple years back where this fellow was afflicted with Crohn's disease, or it might have been colitis, or one of those digestive issues where you can't solidify your food and everything runs through you, and it's just, you're miserable. You know, you can't really ever be too far from the commode. You know, it's anyway. Supposedly he started drinking this after a week. No more Crohn's disease. It went right away. So everyone's different. Just keep that in mind. You know, like that guy who did a book on photographing snowflakes, you know, how many snowflakes, there's never been a repeat and stuff. Actually, I think that's been disproved at this point. They did prove that there has been a repeat, or at least so close that you couldn't even tell with the naked eye. You couldn't even tell with an electron microscope, let alone the naked eye. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'm just talking right now, jibber jabbing. All right, let's get going with some of this good stuff. I'm giving it, so that's Longevity. Shout to Kent Yeager. Shout to Tom Boyle. Shout to Maddie McGlynn, Whitestone, Queens. Shout to Pete Donardi. These are some heavy hitters from in New York from almost 30 years ago. Some real good dudes. Solid people, an asset to any team they would be on. And you know, I want to say also a shout out to Steve Miller. What up, buddy? Miss you, love you. Now go get your shine box. Just kidding, love you, bro. Love you, kid. Mr. Brian Lezier, Sr., New Rubber. Just being I don't know. These are tremendous people, you know. I want to give a shout out to my wife, Nicole, and my daughter, Layla. They're back east visiting family. I'm blissfully discontent. That means I'm not happy at all, but I'm trying to stay calm and cool and collected and blissful. You know, through my, I missed my cousin's wedding. And now, you don't think I want the opportunity to drive across country with my 10-year-old daughter to go see family back east? Get good pizza, cheesesteaks, the real deal. Ooh. Anyway, Exhibit A. I don't need that stuff anymore. Sergio and Sheila up in Waterbury. I love you guys. Miss you. Big shout. and Ben and Jerry's, Waterbury, Vermont. Oh, let's see here. Okay, this is just a little quote here. The vision that you glorify in your mind, the ideal that you enthrone in your heart, this you will build your life by. This you will become. So keep that in mind. Okay. I just want to say, I wanted to talk just for a few scotches of a minute here on there's so much I want to talk about, but this is real, and it's unbelievable. When you first hear about it, you're like, what? And you start researching and you start learning, and everything, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, and once that first piece goes in, every piece thereafter in succession goes easier, and you just get better at it. It's like anything else, right? And these skills that we have, and they atrophy when you don't use them, just like a muscle, reading, using sharp vocabulary. But you don't have to use sharp vocabulary all the time. I mean, but you should try to, be precise, and try to specifically and deliberately and intentionally select every single word that you use when you speak. I'm not so good about it, it just all depends, I like to think that, in the moment when challenged or when it counts, clutch, I'm like Dennis Rodman, maybe I got to get out of my head a little bit, but I'm always there. I'm always on point. When it's game time, I'm always on point. But I want to talk about so much. There's so much I want to talk about, but I've had to wait until I could formulate a lot of these ideas, a lot of these things, You have to be able to convey them clearly and concisely, and so that it's easier for other folks to soak them up and to crystallize. And for me, don't forget also that when you speak on things and try to convey it to other people, that also is a way of it crystallizing for you in your own life as well. But yeah, it's wild what's happened here. When it actually all comes out, I still have pending court cases. There's still a lot of uncertainty as to exactly how this will go. The only uncertainty that there is not is I have never not been with the belief that I'm coming out on top of this. Okay, and there's a few things I want to talk about in regards to that are attached to that. Okay, and because it's easy to misconstrue and it's easy to take things out of context, especially when people text, but even when they're speaking, things can be taken out of context. These people were allowed to spin a narrative about me. I don't know how many police reports they filed, over 30. They had over 30 people. They organized people to come against me. That's against the law. You can't do that. Let's not start talking about the specifics of the deals they killed for me, and how many laws have been broken, and how many crimes have been committed. But murder for hire, trying to hire someone to kill someone else. It sounds crazy. It's like, is this a movie? Is this a Hollywood script here? No. This is life. This is my life. Okay? And I told you guys before, it's going to get worse. There's a few things that I don't even know about yet. But there's a few, when it all gets laid out, I mean, even my accusers, the evildoers, even these guys, when they see it all laid out, everything they've done, they can be like, what have we done here? Holy shnikes. But I'm not a vengeful dude. I'm not a spiteful. I'm not a revenge type of dude. I'm not out here trying to teach others lessons. I didn't come out here for that. I'm about helping people. And the only way I know how to do that is share information that's helped me. Every single thing I tell you, tangy tangerine longevity, that helped me. I'm sharing it with you. That's all this is. And I love you guys, and They've had our devices hacked. That's part of how they've been able to manipulate us. You know, they actually have an OS, an operating system, where I've been told that our devices are cloned. So whatever we're seeing on our screens is what they see. Texts, pictures, email traffic, contracts. They know what your plans are. They know who you're talking to. They know where you're going and what you're up to. And it's easy. When you know that stuff, it's easy to affect these people's lives, you know, because you're always 10 steps ahead of the game, you know. But usually I'm 10 steps ahead. And I've had to figure all this out on my own. And it's alarming. And that's really the sad, shocking thing about it is the malevolence is like, man, like people actually get pleasure out of seeing other people struggle and go through hard shit. They fucking bet on it on the dark web and make millions. Guys, anyway. I will never say things that I don't have solid, hardcore evidence for. Because it's just, that's called speculation. Coming to a conclusion without evidence. And that's how lives are destroyed, man. Look what happened to me here. Within real estate, I should have been killing it by now. I should have been winning awards, helping people buy and sell properties, tricky deals, putting together contracts and deals the likes of no one's ever seen before, because we got creative with it, because we connected with someone on a level that, you know, and we instilled this belief. You have to have that belief, you know? I mean, something that's very scary and very dangerous is people who are like, oh, he's a dreamer. Oh, he's worthless. He's just a dreamer. Someone dreamt the Golden Gate Bridge. That is there right now, right? It's there. So you don't have stuff like that if you don't dream. Don't ever let someone tell you not to dream or make fun of you. Don't dim your light for anyone. And come to think of it, looking back now, every single time period of my life where someone was trying to shush me, I always ended up getting fucked, you know? And that's not saying nothing against my boys who want me to, you know. Silence and calmness is the way forward. That is the way to wield power and self-esteem, is silence and calmness and controlling your emotions. I've talked about this a lot in the past. You know, having no emotion at all. You know, it doesn't matter if you just won the lottery or if you just found out your favorite cousin just passed away. No emotion. Same across the board. You know, if you haven't lost anyone close to you in your life yet, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. But we know it's coming. At some point, it's going to come. And if you can be that one who is a rock in your family for everybody else to lean on, who holds it together when everybody else needs someone, when everyone else is going to pieces, why not at least try to do that? You know, if you have the opportunity to try to make an attempt at doing that, why not? And I hope you guys remember, too, if you ever have the opportunity to go the extra mile or to go above and beyond for yourself or a client, you always do it. Hands down, no questions asked. Always. That's automatic. Always do that. So yeah, we're almost done here. I'm just going to read a few things. I'm going to read, I want to speak on really just, like I said, I don't want to see people go down. I don't want to see people hurt and pain. I want to see people get better. Anyway, these people, they came up against us. It's really unbelievable. It's all going to come out. It'll make a lot more sense. I have a lot to say, obviously. And that's neither here nor there. It's just simply, I've had a lot of different experiences in my life. I feel very lucky and grateful to have had that. And I feel like I'm at a position where I have a lot of good information that I want to share, that I can share, that can help people. And I'm not representing anything. I'm not representing any kind of movement. The only thing I'm representing actually is educate yourself, learn the law, become completely unfuckwithable. I heard that term. I think it was coined by Bedros, Mr. Coolian. Thank you. Awesome terminology. You become unfuckwittable. You learn this stuff, and you know it so well that nobody can say anything to you because you have a